All right, here we go. All right. Pretty excited about the show today. My good old friend, Mr. Dean Rubenstein. Stein, right?
It is Stein.
Yep. I know. You corrected me the first time because I'm with a Steen currently. You know that.
Yes, I do know that you're with a Steen. That's the New York thing is the Steen. But I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason, but I was always told I'm a Stein. So I guess that means a beer mug in German. So, I guess it makes sense.
Right on. Well, welcome to the show, man. It's a pleasure to have you.
Pleasure to be here. This is really cool. I like your, it's definitely appropriate for you to have the island vibes on here with the reggae guy,
Yes, for sure. So that, that brings me to my first topic today is how we met. I could tell you before we met, I did see Ja People perform one time, and it was at the Stir Fry Music Festival.
Yes.
And
I remember that.
It was a hell of a performance. I got to tell you, man. It was really killer. And I'm like, man, look at this guy, man. He's got some stage presence.
I was much bigger then. I was a bigger version of myself then.
But you still have the stage presence.
Yeah, you know what? I like to connect with the crowd, and I think it's important, and it's just that comes naturally.
Yep. So, and we played at the Ardmore Music Hall for like a fundraiser for a kid.
Yeah, we met that night, and then it was with Mike Borowski, and I believe Autumn, and we had arranged some stuff ahead of time, just as doing a little set, the three of us, and then you were there, and I had met you, and you performed, and you played on slide, and you played slide, and I said, "Wow, look at this guy! How do I not know this guy?" And I think from there, maybe we ended up performing together the night we met, and then and we just became fast friends, from there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a lot of similar musical interests, and yeah, I mean, it's funny having a 6-year-old and seeing the music of Bob Marley being so popular with children everywhere, even to this day. It's just like kids connect with it, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why we decided to kind of get into paying tribute to Bob Marley in the first place. I always thought that it was such a genre or such a niche that it was so universal, and it so goes from the youngest in babies to our how do you say that? Our 80-year-olds, octogenarians. It just and also cultures. Everyone loves Bob Marley, and it's all over the world, and it's very universal. And then I found, in the 9 years that we've done it, everyone loves it, young and old. Everyone, puts everybody in a really good, positive mood, and it turned out to be, a really nice thing that we kind of fell into in a way.
Yeah. I mean, well, one thing that set you apart that I've always appreciated about Ja People and being able to play some gigs with Ja People, which was very cool, is the way you worked in your own original material too.
Yeah, I mean,
you write great songs.
The funny thing is, I think you were right there the time when we kind of had to make that move. I know one time that you played guitar with us when we were asked to open for the Wailers at Havana.
Yes.
And I don't know if that was the particular time that you played with us or not, but the Wailers, I know.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. They said to us, you can't do any Bob Marley. You could open for us, but you can't do Bob Marley. And up until that point, we were kind of known for playing the Marley songbook. And that we said, oh, well, we definitely want to open for the Wailers. So we don't want to mess this up. So let's start writing some songs. And we wrote a few songs, and it turned out to be enough for the album Rising High, which we released in 2015. And, so yeah, it was kind of, the way it was interesting. The Wailers ended up forcing our hand, and it turned out to be, kind of interesting.
I didn't know that part of the story. That's very cool. Wow. I knew the album had come out, but it makes sense. They would say, Butch Trucks kind of asked the same thing for us to not play any Allman Brothers when we opened for him at the Ardmore Music Hall, which we had no problem with either. So I totally know. And that was amazing. Actually, I ended up playing with their guitar player's amp that night because my amp was having some problems, and it was a great night. And he was super cool. The whole band was just so cool.
Yeah. I think it's just so important to, and you'll agree with me. I mean, especially after this time of being in quarantine and being locked down and everybody being kind of like, on their heels, like not knowing exactly what's going on. And also us being musicians and being out of work for a year plus, I know you'll agree with me. I feel more grateful than ever to have had, to be able to play music and play for audiences. And I just, I will never take it for granted. It's really, really, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, the energy, especially since things have started to go back to normal, is pretty high, as far as people just wanting to reconnect with other people in the music community and to hear the music, because we have a little bit of both.
Yeah, what a gift it is. I just, and again, you'll agree with me, what a gift it is and I was at your Snipes Farm show, and I'm not just saying this because we were friends. I did tell you this privately, but I'll just say this publicly, that not only was that the best show that I had ever, I went as a fan, I just went as a music lover. And it was not only the best show that I've ever seen at Snipes Farm, it was probably one of the best shows that I've seen from a local band in a long time, if not ever. It was an amazing show. So I give you lots of credit there. And we had a great time. We had such a blast, but that was my segue to, being on stage and playing some part in bringing people joy after this rough time. I get emotional, and I get goosebumps thinking about it. It warms my heart, and it really is. I almost feel like, wow, how fortunate are we to be in that position, to bring people joy.
Yeah, it's true. Music is an ancient healing art. That's the way I've always looked at it. Sometimes you lose sight of it, but it really is. I mean, I think that's why people hold it so near and dear to their heart, is because it's there for them. Life is not easy for most people, and music is it can really be a healing thing. And you're right, man. I don't take it for granted. We don't get to play much, but we get to play good gigs and have good shows and appreciative crowds, and that means everything.
Yeah, and it's a symbiotic thing with the crowd and the band. In other words, without an audience, it's a completely different vibe. When you have the audience, it affects how we play and how we react, and it gets our heart rate up, and it's an experience that's shared. It's a communal experience, and it's such a special thing. And it's like, I am so grateful to be tapped into that.
And yeah, and thank you for saying that, by the way. I mean, we had an extra level of fun that night at Snipes, not only from the atmosphere alone, but of course having Ron up there, Ron Holloway. I mean, we've been grateful and fortunate to play many shows with him, but there's never a time where I don't feel like it's a little bit surreal to have a level of musician up there like Ron with us, and have the connection of a musician who shared the stage with people like Dizzy Gillespie and Sonny Rollins. It really, and to think of some of our favorite music being inspired by legends like that, and here we are on stage with somebody who was in the band. It's crazy. You
It
know,
takes a lot of humility. It's humility on his part that he loves playing music, and that he is humble enough to play with a local, kind of a local outfits like yours and mine. Now we're kind of maybe slightly regional, but we're kind of local acts. So yeah, it takes that humility, and you know what? It's humbling to us as well. When we play with somebody of that's played with the greats, Allman Brothers themselves. Meet Government Mule.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, we get to do it again, August 21st at Underground Arts, playing with
That's
Ron
great.
in Philadelphia, right after the Dead and Company show. It's going to be 11 to 2 a.m. there on August 21st at Underground Arts. So that'll be very cool. And we can't wait. It'll be a little late night. Wake me up, because a lot of people, think Dead and Company is a little sleepy these days. So we're gonna make sure that we're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's a great room. It's a great room for an after party too. It's a really, really great spot. So I'll be there, and I have it marked on my calendar after the Dead and Company show. So I'll definitely be there with you.
Right on. Cool. Thank you, man.
Sure.
It'll be good. Always good to see you. You got a festival of your own coming up this weekend. That you're not your own festival, but you're headlining, correct?
Yeah. We're really, really excited to be headlining Soul Splash, which is it's thrown by Rastaran, and his band Hybration is going to be playing. We have a couple Grateful Dead bands as well. Deal, Bear's Choice. So it's going to have the Dead vibes plus reggae vibes. A band called Newness, which is a bunch of really very veteran musicians. It's really, really great vibe. And we're closing out the show at 9:15. It's always great to play Snipes Farm in Morrisville. If any of you have never been there and you don't have plans, you will not be disappointed. I mean,
man, it's a great plan. It's like a mini festival every time. I absolutely bring the whole family for that one.
Yeah, there's a good vibe there. And then if I may plug a couple more of events, we'll be in Atlantic City on Monday night. Job People doing the Reggae Mondays on the deck at the Golden Nugget. And hopefully you and Tamar can make it down for one of those. And then on the 31st, we're headlining something in Delaware. It's the first annual Reggae Roots Festival, and it's right on the river in Delaware. That's the second home of Bob Marley. It's a really picturesque, really great spot. So that's the 31st. And then,
nice.
We're headed into August, and we have some really cool stuff in August as well. Please check our Facebook page. And also Dean and Company, the Grateful Dead Experience, check that out. Check out what we're doing. We're doing a fish pre-party on the boardwalk, which we just announced Saturday the 14th, which is going to be a lot of fun at the AC Beer Garden right on the boardwalk. So that's going to be bananas. And also Jerry's birthday, if I may mention, Phoenixville, August 1st, Jerry's birthday. We're going to be paying tribute to Jerry Garcia. I can announce to the world now that we'll be doing our first set will be a Jerry Garcia band set, the entire first set, and then the second set is going to be all Jerry Garcia Grateful Dead. So it's going to be an all Jerry all day kind of thing, and so lots of fun things coming up. And I appreciate the opportunity to come on here and share the news with everybody. Invite everybody to join the party.
Yes, that will be a big one. That pre-fish, I would imagine, on the boardwalk. My God.
Yeah, I just don't even know what to imagine. I just know that it's going to be a lot of people.
It's going to be so,
so I can't wait to do that.
Awesome. That definitely sounds like fun. I'm going to try and make it down. Cool. Well, I really appreciate you joining me today, Dean.
I appreciate it. I'd love to do it again. I like what you're doing. I listened to a little bit of your other episode, and it's really right out of the gate. I think you're coming with something that's really, really good for our community. And it's very, very good for the Philadelphia music scene in general. We've kind of been suppressed for a little while, and we've but now we're coming out, and it's going to be the Roaring 20s all over again. And it starts, I think, with things like this, your podcast, and the music that we're making, and also the events that we're doing, and the wonderful people that are coming to our events and sharing the experiences with us together.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, the more I've traveled and played music other places, it's always a wonderful blessing, but I really feel blessed at what we have here at home and the venues and the community. You know, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. It's a very special place, and it's a very special community, and it's you know, it's kind of utopian. It's kind of how the world would be if the world was something like our community. Some people wouldn't like that, as you know, but I think it would be a better place if everybody was just kind to one another.
No doubt about it, man. Well, you know, these things can be easier said than done, but we're going to keep on striving toward the light, right?
Wave that flag, wave it wide and high.
Well, you have a great rest of your day, bro, and I'll be seeing you around real soon, all right?
Oh, for sure. We'll definitely see you at Underground Arts, if not before.
Cool. Sounds good to me. All right. Thanks again, Dean.
Thanks, Mark. I had fun. Thank you.
Yep.
All right.